Okay, super quick before we dive into this amazing content from this fabulous guest on the David Nurse Show, just want to thank you for being a committed listener. Means the world to me. And if you have 9.2 seconds and you can go to Apple Podcasts or podcast app, anywhere podcasts are found, and subscribe and leave a review, that would be huge. It helps me get better guests on, bigger guests on, more guests on, but also helps people who are searching for podcasts come across this content and provide value in their life. A few other things I want to let you know about. I am opening up a brand new coaching program, the Breakthrough Squad. I'm only taking 30 people because it's pretty intensive, and it's 90 days starting January 9th. You can go to davidnurse.com for more info, or just message me. Hit me up on social media. I will respond to you. Trust me, I will. davidnurse.com, Breakthrough Squad. Awesome. I'm also doing a mastermind where some of the top thought leaders, we're going to go to an NBA game, the NFL Rams Stadium. Me and David Meltzer are doing this together, and we have some of our friends who are just incredible people coming in to speak. Yeah, it's going down February 24th, Friday, through Sunday morning, February 26th in Los Angeles. Tickets will fly. They'll go so fast. So message me if you're interested in that as well. The coaching program, the mastermind, and just reach out to me. If I can help you in any way, please let me know. I would love to. It's my passion. It's what I'm juiced up about. Okay, now check out the podcast. Let me know how you like it, and send me any questions for when I do the next Q&A. I'd love to hear from you. Have an amazing, amazing day. Justin Forsett, welcome to the David Nurse Show. Man, it is so good to have you on here. I mean, it's just like last week we were climbing mountains in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, with a bunch of bonding brothers, and here we are on the podcast, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm super excited to be on the show. Thanks for the opportunity, and we had a great time just the other week scaling mountains together. So I'm glad to be on the podcast with you.
Yeah, Justin, you were telling stories late into the night that first night, and you had some, and just incredibly powerful stories that I'm excited to get into here. But first, start us off with a bang. Something maybe not anybody knows about you. You know, the NFL Pro Bowler. I started a company that we'll talk about, but something different, a little bit off the beat.
Oh, man, with a childhood fear.
That works.
In this category.
Totally.
Okay. So weirdly enough, growing up, my number one fear that I can recall was of my shadow, and I was super young at the time, but I just remember just screaming and crying my eyes out every night when I would go outside and I would see my shadow. So much so, I would try to evade or run away from my shadow to get away from it. And this is exclusive stuff here, David. I've never told anyone this outside of my family. But I would try to run as fast as I could, shake, juke my shadow, but it was always there, of course. But I believe that helped with my speed and my quickness that eventually got me into the NFL. But it started from a fear early on in life of me trying to run away from my shadow.
Justin, that's amazing. Like, that is the secret to agility, quickness. Like, hey, Justin, how did you train for the NFL? Oh, when I was a kid, I was running away from my shadow. Never shook him.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So how do I teach my kids when I have kids? Be like, hey, that shadow is trying to get you. Get away from it.
You just gotta let them know that's like the boogeyman. So you just you stay away from the shadow.
Man, that's incredible. And yeah, that eventually teasing in to get into the NFL. And you had this amazing story that you told, and you got to tell it on this podcast because so many people need to hear this. You make it to the NFL, and you're getting your chance in the special teams, and you're punt returner. I mean, you're repping out punts, and I'll let you tell it about how you weren't catching them in practice, and then you get put out there in the game, and you said this prayer that changed everything for you. But you tell it way better than I do, of course. Go ahead. So, one of my favorite feelings in the world It's getting a great night's sleep on cozy and comfortable sheets and blankets. And for me and my wife, that is absolutely Cozy Earth. Cozy Earth, more comfortable than cotton. It's made from bamboo. And get this, it has been featured on Oprah's favorites list. Favorites list for the last 4 years in a row. They even give a 100-night sleep test. It means you can try them out for 100 nights, and if you don't like it, you get fully refunded. It's high quality, so cozy, so comfy, you won't want to get out of bed. And now I teach people to just jump out of bed. But with Cozy Earth, you ain't going to want to get out of bed. And what they're doing for my listeners is incredible. Never been done before. 40% off. Are you kidding me? 40% off? If you go to Cozy Earth, COZY, earth.com and enter the code DavidNurse40 at checkout, that is DavidNurse40, you will get 40% off the best covers, the best sheets you've ever had in your life. Trust me, you will absolutely love these. You'll probably be sleeping in the next time I do a podcast. Check them out, CozyEarth.com, DavidNurse40 for your special discount.
Yeah, so when I got into the NFL back in 2008, my first year rookie season, I was a seventh round draft pick, pick 233, fourth running back on the depth chart. I'm probably odds looking at outside in. Odds are I'm probably not going to play as an every down back that first year, but and I was probably going to be on practice squad. But one of my teammates, I was having a pretty good camp. I was doing well. One of my teammates, my fullback, David Kurtman from USC, it was my fullback up in Seattle. He tells me, he's like, Justin, man, you're really good, man. But if you want to make the team, you got to play special teams. Like, you got to get back there. We don't have a punt returner. You should try catching punts. And I have never caught punts in my entire life. I've never caught punts. Like, this is something that I thought only crazy people do because, like, you're looking up in the sky, the ball's coming up there for like 5 seconds, and people are trying to take your head off. So I ended up going back there, practicing as much as I could, staying before practice, taking reps hours after practice. During our lunch break, I was out there catching punts from the jugs machine and just putting in the work. So much so that my first game, preseason game, out in Minnesota, the old Metrodome, and we're playing the Vikings. They say, Justin, you're going to be up this week. You're going to be catching our punts. I'm like, okay, this is the first preseason game. I have never caught punts in a game in my entire life, and you're just going to throw me out. You're not going to, like, give me, like, a little dry run, maybe give me one punt, maybe at the end of the game. It's like, no, you're going to be out there the whole time. And so I remember my prayer catching punts for that season, for that day in Minnesota, and it led on to the rest of my career. I would say a prayer right before the punt was kicked. I say, God, it's your boy, Justin. I'm here. I'm asking for something. I need you to please protect me and protect the ball. Worst case scenario, God, please protect the ball. Don't worry about me. Just protect the ball because I cannot lose my job. I cannot afford to lose this job that I have. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was scared out of my mind back there. There's a lot of anxiety leading up into catching those punts every game, but no, just that faith and that prayer kept me through a lot of tough times. Whether the weather was, snow, rain, what have you, but it kept me. And I played that year. I bounced around a little bit, but that was always a tool that I had in my bag from that first season and putting myself out there and trying something new.
Man, that's amazing. God, it's your boy. Protect the ball, not me. But
yes.
So one thing that you told me out there is you were muffing punts in practice.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're hitting you in the head. So when they tell you, hey, you're going to return punts, like, what are you thinking here? What?
Man, God is good. Because I was literally out there at practice, and I would catch a lot, but there were just some that's like, it just looks like a TV show. There's no way this is a professional athlete out there catching punts. The ball is hitting me in the back, it's hitting me in my head. I'm misjudging them, misreading them, and I wouldn't have confidence of if I was a coach putting me out there, but They did, and I never dropped a punt ever in a game,
Ever.
ever. But I would
Not one
drop
time.
not
Wow.
one time. Not one.
Wow.
I've caught
Wow.
tons, but yeah,
You were covered. That is the power of prayer.
yeah,
So
that's it.
that's probably the most pressure packed moment I can think of in all of sports. Like you
Yeah.
have the ball, you're looking up to the sky, and you got just jacked fast dudes ready to take your head off flying down. You can't really see where they're at. How do you stay calm in that moment? Because you have to stay calm to be able to catch the ball. And I think this really correlates with people in all aspects. They might not be going, obviously, through this much of pressure, but how do you
Uh-huh.
stay calm in the moment and just at peace? Okay, so question for you. What sounds better, paying $7,000 for a huge sauna that you probably don't have space for, or $599 for one that you can transport and take wherever you want? I think the answer is pretty obvious. Higher Dose. Let me introduce you to that name. I have been using it for a couple years now, actually, and it's literally my secret to taking high-powered naps. It's a sauna I can have in my apartment. I don't have room for a big, massive sauna, but I do for Higher Dose. And what are the benefits of Higher Dose sauna blanket? You kind of wrap yourself up in a cocoon, and I'm telling you, like my naps, oh, like 10 to 15 minutes off the charts. Enhances deep relaxation, improves circulation, promotes glowing skin, burns calories, encourages detoxification, pain relief, higher energy levels, reduces stress, promotes better sleep, everything that a sauna does, but in a blanket that's very affordable, that you can put anywhere. Higher Dose. Yeah, check out higherdose.com. Code for you for listening to this podcast, David15, for 15% off. Higherdose.com. Let me know how you're liking it, how your naps are going, or just chilling in it. It's amazing. Go check it out. Get your sauna on today.
Well, great question. The first thing was I had to trust like the reps that I
Yes.
took in
Nice.
practice. I had to trust the preparation and know that and understand that I knew how to catch punts. Like I've caught them before. I've done it hundreds, thousands of times. Right at that point, even in a short amount of time. Like I put in a lot of time and effort around it, so I had to trust the work and preparation. And then two, I would say confidence. Like when I got out there on the football field, even though I said that prayer, like especially when I got to those punts, and I would think back to right before pregame, right before the game would actually start, and you got to catch punts to warm up the punter and yourself for the game to get adjusted to the weather and the conditions. And I would just have this swagger. Like I'm talking it. I'm thinking when I'm back there, I'm visualizing like I'm Deion Sanders. Like they kick this ball to me, they in
Yes.
trouble, right? This ball is going back to the house. So I never exuded this or portrayed any characters of like, oh, this guy doesn't belong. Like I acted and behaved like I
Mm.
belonged on the field. And I belonged back there catching punts, even though it was a pressure situation and it was something new I had never done before. But I had put in the time and I had put in the work, and I felt like once I got on that field and that ball is in my hands, I'm dangerous. So my job was just to go out there, catch the ball, and then showcase what God gave me.
But that's the key. You just hit the two most important keys for people to step on a floor, a stage, in a boardroom with confidence. Trust the preparation, the reps that you put in, and have delusional confidence. That's what Kobe called
Yes.
it, delusional confidence. But it's so hard for people to do that, and you did it becoming Deion Sanders. Is there are there any other tools that you did? Did you visually watch yourself going through the game? Did you empower yourself with visualization? Like I just want to on this podcast we do a lot on optimizing for excellence, finding the best people in the world in their space and just diving into their brain. So were there any other tools or tips or tricks or tactics you would do?
For sure. One of them that comes to mind was just the power of positive self-talk.
Yeah.
And it goes around that confidence piece as well. Like I was telling myself, like, man, Justin, you're going to the house, man, today. Like you gonna get in that end zone today. Like
Yeah.
like they're not
It's
gonna be able to
powerful.
touch you. They're not gonna be able to tackle you today. Like it's a problem right now. They catch it. They kick the ball to 2-0 today. It's an
Mm,
issue. And
mm.
so my mindset was like, I'm going to, even if it was fake juice. One of my former teammates, Steve Smith Sr., he would come to practice with fake juice. Like he was like, man, I'm really not in it, but I gotta get myself, I gotta talk myself in it. So and then sometimes you get to a point where you gotta talk yourself up. You gotta talk to yourself in a manner in which like your body has to your body has to respond positively. Your mind has to respond positively because you're giving it so much good energy and affirmation. So I try to do that as much as I could. And of course, visualization of me trying to score before I got out there. I tried to block out as much negativity and worry as doubt as possible, but before leading up to my infamous prayer.
Yeah, man. Those habits, those success habits, tools are so important, and it's not like after that catch everything became easy and you just flowed through the NFL and became an all like became
Yeah,
a Pro
sure.
Bowler. Like tell the audience, like when did you become a Pro Bowler? How many years did it take you to actually get to that top point?
Yeah, man. It took me 7 years, and it took me year seven at
7.
age 28 for me to get my breakthrough in the NFL. And if
Man,
you want to add on high school and college before I was even recognized amongst my peers at that level, at that high of a level, 15 years of doing the same things over
15
and over again,
years.
committed to the process, being disciplined,
Wow.
overcoming adversity. Yeah, it was a long haul.
So good to hear you say that. I mean, it is 15 years to become an overnight success. Like the quote says 10, but it's usually
Hmm.
more. And it is every single successful person I've been around, I'm sure you've been around, the number one factor is consistency.
Yep.
Like when you feel like you're down, you just keep going. You trust the process and you keep going, and you will eventually get there. And you did. And I know you told me apart, like, I think one of the most powerful tools is a word of encouragement. A word of encouragement from somebody that you look up to, somebody that you admire, and it carries you. It gives you that
Mm.
belief. Tell me about the Peyton Manning word of encouragement.
Yeah. So, and I think this is applicable to everyone, even outside of sports. But every time I got in a huddle with Peyton Manning, he would give me three things. He would give me warning, he would give me encouragement, and he would give me instruction.
Wow.
Every single huddle, he would give me
Wow.
warning, encouragement, and instruction. Right? He was telling me, "Hey, uh, watch out! This blitz is coming," or "You need to be here in this spot." Or he's telling me, "Hey, all right, everybody, guys, let's go make a play. Let's go do. Let's go do what we're supposed to do. Let's go do our job." There's some words of encouragement, instruction, and warning that he's giving me in every single play.
That's
And
good.
even I apply that to like my day to day life now as an entrepreneur, as a husband, as a family man. Like that is something that I take near and dear to my heart because we need that. We can't do life alone, right? So we need to have this huddle that we can come to, and this someone that brings value to us, that can pour into us and give us those three things.
I love that, man. I didn't hear you say that. That's powerful. That's great for companies, and I'm sure you've, like you said, related it to Hustle Clean, which we're going to talk about here in a second. And there was a time that I remember you mentioned, like, hey, like somehow by God's grace, you end up next to Peyton Manning's locker.
Yeah.
And after you
So
had something with a game ball, and I know it was very lasting impact for you.
no, for sure, man. So one of my um, one of my favorite memories in the NFL was my rookie season. So my rookie season, after going through preseason that year, having a great preseason, and I ended up making the opening day roster with the Seattle Seahawks. But the second week, I got cut, and then my first actual game that I because I didn't dress up that first game. My first game I played with was the Colts in my NFL career, like first regular season game. So they picked me up off of waivers from Seattle, and I'm there. And I'm going into the week as this, they brought me into punt return and kick return. Again, mostly punt return because they saw how effective I was at being a punt returner, or at least pretending to be one. And and so I get there the first week. We're playing Minnesota Vikings, which I remind you, I told you the story that my
Yeah.
first punts that I've ever caught in the NFL in that preseason was against in the Minnesota Vikings stadium in the Metrodome, and so I was accustomed to like the arena and the field and surface and all that stuff. So we get there. Long story short, I'm like, God, just let's make this day an easy day for me. Like, let me get about two or three catches, punts, and nothing. The ball doesn't touch the ground, and everybody's good. And so we got up. I probably caught 2 punts. Fair caught both of them for at the game because for whatever reason our defense wasn't stopping the Vikings at that time, so they didn't have to punt and that much. And then at the end of the game, it was probably like 30 seconds left, or 40 seconds left to go on the clock. We're tied up, and the defense stops the Colts. I'm sorry, the defense stops the Vikings, and I'm back there. They say punt returns up. I would get back there, and it's on me, literally. It's 40 seconds, and I'm back there, just like, God, please protect me and protect the ball. If all else fails, Lord, just please protect the ball. I cannot drop this ball right now. And so the ball is kicked. It's I'm trying to think of the punter's name at the time, but it's Cluey. He was a UFC punter. So he punts the ball. He's a great punter. Kicks the ball up. I get centered. I catch the ball. I feel instantly the gunner from the Vikings was a defender. I feel his arms around my waist. I shake him off. Ball is caught, shake him off. I make a move up the field. I'm going down the left sideline. It's 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards downfield. And I set my team up for a game-winning field goal at the end. All we had to do was center the ball. And I remember my fans, my new teammates. They were cheering me on. They was dapping me up, giving me all the hugs on the sideline. Just came in that week, and at the end of the game, my locker was next to Peyton Manning. I don't know how that happened or who set that up, but my locker was right next to Peyton Manning. And as I'm getting changed out of my clothes or whatnot, and Peyton Manning looks over to me, he says, "Hey, Forsett, man, we won that game because of you. Good job, bro." I was just like, wow. It's the GOAT talking to me like this. Yeah. The GOAT, Peyton Manning, man. So I mean, and from that day on, it was like really assuring and comforting, knowing like, man, I had the respect of my teammates and one of the best to ever do it. A leader and a Hall of Fame player, like I said, says like, man, Justin, you got what it takes, and that was a special moment for me.
Yeah, and that can carry you through a season, through a career, through somebody's lifetime, and it's just it's such a good lesson to everybody out there. Like, people are looking up to you. I know you have a lot of people looking up to me. Everybody does, and if you can give them that word of encouragement, that's that spark that can set a flame to someone's entire life. And that's big time. Justin, you have a gift, which I call the make it happen mentality. Like, I just seen it in you and your career and what you've done as a CEO of founder of Hustle Clean. It's just like, hey, if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to figure out a way to make it happen. And is that just part of your DNA and what you've developed over just, I mean, playing at the highest level in the NFL? And just talk about how that's carried on into being a founder and CEO, because that's another grind in itself. And I know it's a completely different type of, but same mentality.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think for me, it was something that was in me at an early age. I just had that hunger and desire for more out of my life, and I wasn't going to allow anything to stand in my way. I came from very humble beginnings at one point, living out of a motel with my family, and it was three boys. I was the middle of three boys, and I have two parents in the home, and we were in very bad conditions at the time financially. And I would just remember telling myself, like, my kids will never have to deal with some of these things that I'm dealing with, right? I was going to do whatever I could do possibly to make sure that wasn't the case. And I was going to fight, man. And I always believed that I was the exception and not the rule. I remember when people would come in and say, only less than 1% of NFL players, only 1% of you student athletes will make it into the NFL. And I would say I remember seventh grade vividly, teacher coming in giving us the stats on like why most of you guys in here that say they want to be in professional sports, it wouldn't happen. I was like, man, I really teacher, thank you so much, Miss McKay, for coming in and getting us the groundwork and giving us that information. But that's not me. You talking to somebody else, like, I'm the exception. I'm not the rule. So I just had that mindset that I was going to figure whatever I put my mind to, I was going to figure it out. I knew I had faith, of course, but I was going to put the work and time in as well. So that was kind of in me from a very early age.
Love it. It's the difference between people thinking, oh, why me? Well, why can I do it? Compared to why not me? And you had that
Yep.
mindset. Beautiful, man. All right, talk us through Hustle Clean. Tell me all that you guys are doing at Hustle Clean and just give the audience, like, all right, why should we be excited about this? Why should we be on board with this? And just hit me with the pitch, but then hit me with the struggles too, man. I love to hear the
Yeah.
struggle because I know it's not easy running the company. I'm just running myself and a
No.
couple other people. You're running a lot of people.
No, man. So I'm the CEO, co-founder of Hustle Clean. Hustle Clean is a mission-driven self-care brand for the active lifestyle. It's a line of restorative self-care products to help the everyday athlete, fitness enthusiast with hygiene, wellness, and recovery. And David, our big goal is to eliminate toxic hustle within the wellness community. You see, like
Good.
within sports and fitness, like a lot of burnout, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and a lot of sometimes bad hygiene habits, and we want to make sure that we put a stop to it. We feel like there's a better way. We feel like there's this wave of like holistic hustlers out there that are trying to change the world and the way we work and the way we do work and the way we view work, and we want to be a small part of it. We want to say, hey, you can chase your goals, you can chase your dreams, and you can do it in a really healthy way that can that allows you to not only pour yourself out into others, but also fill your cup up so you can be effective at pouring out into others.
Dude, I love it. I love it. And we're going to link to that in the show notes. And the first 5 people to message me on Hustle Clean, we're going to get them something from the website and send it out to them.
Oh, dope, man.
Of course. So, what's been the biggest difference then? Give us, if you could put one difference of being a CEO compared to a Pro Bowl running back. What's the biggest difference?
Yes, that's easy. Football, football can be very detrimental to your outer being, right? You can, yeah,
Yeah.
your bones, your body, your head,
Yeah.
aches and pains. It's just like physically grueling, right? At times, like you think about just running into 300-pound men every Sunday. Uh, the thing about entrepreneurship and what makes it different is that it may not be as physically grueling, but it can be detrimental to your inner being,
Mm,
right? You can see uh, isolation and loneliness and depression and anxiety and stress, and like you're carrying a lot as a founder of a business and you're running it. Where in football, I just had to do my job. Like that, they just say, Justin, go out there, do your job. Don't worry about anything else but your job. I didn't have to worry about booking the flight to go play the Cleveland Browns. I didn't have to worry about marketing the game. I didn't have to worry about P&L statements and balance sheets and making sure that we had enough margin in the company so we can continue to grow. I didn't have to worry about those things. I just showed up and did my job. But as a CEO and a founder, I have to worry about all those things. Now I have some people running those departments,
yeah.
but I have to have my hands in all of those things so I understand it to be able to share the mission and the vision with anybody that I come across. So it's just could be a very weighty um, uh, profession and a
Yeah.
title to have. And if you're not intentional about your time, it will consume you, and you have identity issues, and it's a whole bunch of negative stuff that comes with it. So it's a kind of an inward battle.
It's beautiful, man. So well said. And just watching and observing you, and I know how you have going on, family, kids, company. You're going to speak, travel today to speak to college football team, and I know you get so many people hitting you up for your time, and you just seem like smooth. Like you seem like you have a peace to you. Like it's calming to be around you. You know the difference between people that like they have a lot going on and you know they have a lot going on compared to the ones who have that peace inside of you. So I just want to give you kudos
I
for that,
appreciate that.
man. Yeah, yeah,
That means a lot. Thank you, man.
it's an infectious thing. All right, we're going to throw you on the rapid fire hot seat with the few minutes we have remaining before we wind down here. This can be quick answers, whatever comes to your mind, hit them with it. So the first one I have for you is we optimize for excellence in all areas. How do you, Justin, continue to learn, continue to grow on a daily basis? Is it certain books that you love, podcasts you listen to, gratitude? What are your go-tos?
Oh man, I would say definitely pushing myself, reading books. Uh, I do podcasts every once in a while, but they're more tend to be more on the sermon side. But I'm
Nice.
definitely reading books, man.
What's give me a couple of your favorites for the audience.
Ooh, I would say
Other than these two behind you, of course. But
yes,
go
yes,
ahead.
yes. I would say Five Dysfunctions of a Team, Patrick Lencioni. The
Nice.
Advantage. I would say also Contagious by Jonah Berger.
Yep.
I would say Hard. I don't know. Training Camp by John Gordon. I would say that. Gotta put my
Nice.
guy in
Shout
there.
out to JG Training Camp. Yeah, that's kind of like your story there, probably. I mean, not exactly,
Yeah,
but running back.
Martin.
Okay,
No.
3 people, inviting them to a dinner, dead or alive. 3 people. Who are you inviting? It can be 2 people. Whoever you want to invite to a dinner. And the most important question: what are you eating at that last quote unquote death row meal?
Oh man, Jesus is got to be at the meeting.
For sure.
I want to talk to. Oh man, I want to talk to Harriet Tubman.
Oh, okay.
And I want to talk to dead or alive. Who would be the third one? I would say, ooh, Diddy.
Diddy.
I know that's a
That,
weird,
no,
weird
it's
combination.
beautiful, man. You're going to have some great conversation there. I could literally see Diddy, Tubman, and Jesus on a track dropping some fire. Love it. All right, what are you eating? What's your go-to meal? What's the last meal?
Oh, go-to meal. I'm a barbecue guy, but for that
baby.
meal, I don't want to get too messy because I want to have the conversation.
Okay.
I would say I'm gonna do crustaceans. I'm gonna do garlic noodles,
Ooh.
some garlic prawns. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, so you don't want to get messy. You just want everybody to have garlic breath when they're talking to each other. I got you. Love it, Justin. Hey, how do we support all that you're doing? How do we follow all you're doing? Give us some links. Just want to be able to support your mission, brother.
Man, thank you. You can follow me on all channels at J Forsett, or at Hustle Clean is the brand name. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you name it. At least Twitter for now. And I would say go support, buy our products. If it fits your lifestyle, we got some muscle relief soaps, some wipes, all sold in Target. About to launch into REI, Macy's, Kohl's, Myers grocery stores. So yeah, you can find us anywhere.
Literally anywhere.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Amazon.
Man,
Yep.
I know there's a story behind getting into those big places. That ain't easy to get into those places.
Nah.
That's for next time, for the next episode. All right, as we drop the mic, we're going to end on this. It can be a quote. It can be a one word of advice. It can be a saying something. If you could give a kid who is stuck in their situation one piece of advice for them to be able to basically make an adjustment, a pivot, and on their way for their personal breakthrough, what would that drop the mic piece of advice be?
I think we talked about this on the mountaintop, actually, David. And my advice would be is that greatness grows best in the shadows. That's an encouragement that I would give to anyone that is trying to find their breakthrough. Just being able to embrace those tough and difficult times, to use them as fuel and motivation to help you reach your peak performance and reach your dreams and goals. Because we don't get our greatest gains when we're at the top of the mountain. We get our greatest gains in life when our climb and our pursuit to the top. Those moments when we're stretched, those moments when we're pulled, and we have to dig deep within ourselves and pull out things that we didn't even know existed in order to take us to the next level in life. So enjoy and embrace those moments and figure out a way to use that as fuel.
Dude, that is the best. Drop the mic, and that's why he's one of the best speakers in the world right there, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Forsett, appreciate you. A light, a leader. Thank you for coming on this podcast, brother.
Thanks, David. Appreciate you having me.